the feed. Stop the feed. Everyone, stop what you're doing right now because Still Scrolling has to talk about some breaking news. Breaking MCU news that literally took from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This news took all day. It took over all of the feeds at the FYP, the Twitters, the TikToks. Everybody's talking about this news. I can't talk about this news alone. I have to do it with my friends and co-host, Derek and Stefania. Say hi, Derek and Stefania.
Hi.
Hi, Derek and Stefania.
Hi.
They have taken precious time out of their precious days to discuss the breaking Marvel news that's going on. And if you didn't hear, the entire cast, well, not the entire cast, but everyone who's going to be in Avengers Doomsday, the very next Avengers movie that's coming out in 2026, got announced one by one, each having a chair. So we're going to talk about it for a bit. Let us know your thoughts in the comments in the chat below. Say hi to Derek and Stefania. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And remember to follow us on all the platforms, TikTok, Instagram, or wherever we're streaming to right now, because we are going to get into it. And so you guys know, spoilers for the entire MCU up at this point. So if you haven't seen something like Stefania, Daredevil Born Again, get the heck out of here. Anyways, let's get started. So, broader picture, what did you guys think of this announcement? Because I have mixed feelings, but at the end of the day, I think it was smart. What do you guys think?
I think Stefania gets priority here. I think she's the one.
It's like, well, it happened.
Listen, it happened. It sure did happen. Listen, a lot of us theorized that they were going to bring the Fox X-Men back into the MCU for Doomsday or Secret Wars. Most for Secret Wars than I heard over Doomsday. And we got them. We got them, okay? We got not all of them. We got a good chunk of them. And,
we got them, Joe.
We got them, Joe. Yeah, we did it, Joe. And if you saw on my Instagram, my videos I posted or my story, then you would know how much I freaked out about it. Because the first one that they announced, well, the first X-Men character they announced technically was Beast. But they didn't have the X-Men theme for him. They saved the X-Men theme for Professor X for what's his name?
Doctor Strange.
Huh? Doctor
Strange.
No, I'm terrible with names. Absolutely horrid. Patrick Stewart, yeah. Oh. For some reason, Ian McKellen just kept on coming into my head, but he was after him. And I flipped out. Okay, I'm so excited to see all the other characters, right? Loki, I can't wait to see again. I don't know how he's gonna separate from his tree, but we'll see. I'm excited to see M'Baku. Haven't seen him in a while. Namor. Oh, I'm so excited to see him because he is a mutant, baby. Okay. And it has not been confirmed or it wasn't said, but it'll come out.
They're gonna lean into it.
Yeah, for sure.
We shall see. Okay,
especially because they made him Yucatan
go ahead, Derek.
Adjacent or whatever. You know, they're like, I know oppression more than others. You know, and it's anyway, go ahead.
Before we get started, really talking about each individual ones, let's take a minute for those who haven't heard the entire list. Just go through the list and say who's in it and who's out of it. Okay. All right. Hold your applause until the end. Are you ready? Number one person in this movie, Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor. Anthony Mackie playing Sam Wilson / Captain America. Vanessa Kirby as Susan Storm. Paul Rudd as the Ant-Man. Florence Pugh as Black Widow. Wyatt Russell as John Walker. Tenoch Huerta Meha? Oh man, jeez. Someone help me out.
Mejia
Mejia? Is it Mejia? Because I've only
Uh,
heard
or
Tenacuerta.
Mejia?
Tanaquita is
Why don't we
fine.
ask Derek because
Anyway,
he would know.
here's
It's it would be Mejia, but I don't think he goes by that.
Mejia.
Yeah.
Tenacuerta Mejia as Namor. Simu Limu as Shang-Chi.
Did you say Simu Limu?
Yeah, Simu
Like-
Limu.
Is he French?
Isn't it Liu?
Oui, oui. I think he's Canadian, though. But anyway.
He is Canadian.
Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, aka actually the White Wolf. Sorry. Letitia Wright as the Black Panther. Eben Moss Bacharach as the Thing, aka Ben Grimm. Kelsey Grammer as Dr. Hank McCoy, aka the Beast. Louis Pullman, actually surprised about this one, as Sentry. Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, aka the New Falcon. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. David Harbour as the Red Guardian. Winston Duke as Umbaku. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, Professor X. Ian McKellen as Magneto. Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler.
Very
Rebecca
shocked.
Romaine as Mystique. James Marsden as Cyclops. Channing Tatum as Gambit. Oh my. Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. And last, and certainly not least, because he has the biggest check out of all of this film, Robert Downey Jr. So, guys, all of that cast literally took from sun up to sun down.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
I totally forgot that. I remember that there was an announcement today, but I was out doing stuff, and I had saw on my phone that it was like in 1 hour, news about to drop. I'm like, okay, cool. And then like an hour goes by, I totally forget about it. I go home, and my brother tells me, "Did you see the Marvel announcement?" I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot." And so he's like, "It's like a live thing where they're announcing the cast," and so we put it on, and it got up to I don't know, it didn't even make it that far, like a quarter of the way. And I was like going in reverse. He's like, "Go in reverse, you'll see all the chairs." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like playing like Chris Hemsworth, okay. And then I was waiting, and he was like, "No, you gotta fast forward." I'm like, "Oh." So I fast forward, and I was like, "Oh, it's like 10 minutes you have to wait in between each one." So I was like going into visually to see. And then like I didn't know it was that long that it was gonna take. It was literally 10 minutes for each person. And there's like 20 people in this cast. So it took a long freaking time. I was sitting on my couch for a bit, eating my lunch and watching, and then I had to do work, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to work, and I want to just watch this." But I had it on in the background, and I barely worked because half like the X-Men cast was announced, and so I just focused on all that and freaked out. I was sweating and shaking. Sweating and shaking. Yeah.
Hey, over this
What?
news? I mean, I
Uh-huh.
don't blame you.
Ian McKellen? Come on.
That actually surprises me.
Alan
Um,
Cummings surprised me.
Here's the thing. Actually, Derek, what are your thoughts? I'd never passed to you. I'm sorry.
I'm excited. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen definitely surprised me. I thought the most they would do for something like this would be like a biblically accurate Cyclops, and they take James Marsden for it, but they just improve on the character, and they'd make it a variant where he's not like this crybaby sad boy like he was in those original Fox X-Men movies, and just be the same actor but a better characterization. But then all of a sudden we're seeing Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's names on there, and it's just kind of like a lot to take in. especially when you process the fact that they're probably gonna die, right? Like that whole universe is
Oh, they're all gonna
Oh,
die.
yeah.
They're all
I
gonna die. Not
I
the
think the
actors,
Fox
we don't know that
but
for
the
sure.
characters.
the Fox universe is going to be permanently what's the word? Incursioned. Uh
Dusted,
yeah, and maybe the
snapped.
actors carry
Yep.
over, right? Maybe the actors carry over for their
What's the
variants,
word they
but
use in Loki? What's it called? Snipped. The whole your
No.
timeline. Oh, what's it
it's
called?
like a botany term. It's
Pruned.
like
There we go.
pruned. Yeah.
Prune.
They're all getting pruned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Here's
don't. They're not gonna. Absolutely not, because they needed fresh. Like, I'm sorry, but like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen can't play Magneto and Xavier for the next like
Yeah.
phase of Marvel. You
right,
know?
For the
right.
next 10 years even. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like,
done.
Here's the thing. Would you guys like to hear some movie tea?
I
Uh-oh.
do love me some tea. Not drinking it, but listening to it.
Ooh, okay. Pipe up, everyone. Here's some movie tea for you if you didn't know. The way the Fox film structured their deals was very unique to Fox, right? People like Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, when they signed their deals with Fox, they also included that for a certain amount of time, they are the only people that could play that character. It's part of their contracts, right? Here's the thing though. When Disney bought Fox, it's not that they just bought the rights to the X-Men, they inherited those deals as well. So that's why Professor X showed up in Doctor Strange. That's part of the reason why we're getting like the Foxmen as well, because they kind of have to wait out those a couple years, right? You know?
Yeah.
That being said, Hugh Jackman is on record as being like, if they ever wanted me to join the Avengers, I'll come back. Even though he's like, Logan's my last time, and then Deadpool and Wolverine happened. So, okay, Hugh, all right. But this cast specifically uh confirms a lot of things for me as a part, like the behind the scenes nature of what's going on, because not only do we get one or two X-Men, we get one, two, three, four, five X-Men: Beast, Professor X, Magneto, Cyclops, Mystique, and Nightcrawler. Those are probably, without Hugh Jackman, those are probably the most popular people in the Fox films, I would say. I correct. I think so.
I wouldn't say like Nightcrawler was a big popular character in like in the
Here's the
movie,
thing:
yes.
X
But
two. As in, I'm saying like the most impactful in their franchise. The
sure,
beginning of X two.
sure, yeah.
Best
But
fight scene in the whole thing.
if I were to say
Yes,
if they would had like popular X-Men characters, they would have had Jean in here too, right?
I don't think she's as popular as that scene in X two. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking like, mind you, keep in mind Kevin Feige helped with the first X-Men films, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's always funny how he kind of like disavowed Marvel TV because it was under Ike Perlmutter, the previous like runner of, and then he's like, but I like Daredevil though, so I'm just gonna keep that one. But a lot of things from Marvel TV you don't see. For example, nothing from Agent of Shield has come up. Daredevil is probably the only one that's kind of like moved up. And Kevin Feige worked on those like early X-Men films. So maybe he thinks of it as like, well, I worked on them, so they're kind of mine. You know what I mean? That being said, I it confirms that Doomsday and Secret Wars are not capital S Secret Wars from the comics. I think we're getting Avengers versus X-Men.
I could see that. I could see it being Doctor Doom and whatever shows up. We get Doomsday with the cast that we just got announced, and then the survivors of that are kind of like all of a sudden they turn around, you see a bunch of people that they don't recognize, aka the Avengers, and you've got Thor and like the one other Avenger trying to like mediate everybody, but in reality they're just trying to fight. Because I think a big part of the original Secret Wars was this heroes versus villains type of
Mm-hmm.
deal, and they're on Battle World and they're split into two, and one's attacking the other, and then Doctor Doom's plotting, and then the heroes themselves are like they find the natives in the battle world or whatever, and like they both sides have a lot going on, and then they kind of fight each other. We don't have enough villains for that in the MCU, so I think what they're gonna replace that with, quote unquote, is just alternate versions of heroes from other universes, and then I think at the end the big MacGuffin will be like, oh, the Beyonder was behind this all along. We have to band together to fight him or whatever, and that's what it's going to be.
Right,
or
right.
or some sort of like a contest of champions situation where the Beyonder or whoever is just, maybe Doctor Doom, is just controlling these heroes, and they're bad because they're under his control or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess obviously we're gonna have to wait. The speculation is literally infinite in my brain right now on the possibilities. So
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in. I don't know.
Looking at
Yeah.
this list, it makes it painfully obvious. I don't know. You guys remember Spider-Man No Way Home? And then he had to fight Green Goblin, and then you realize, oh wait, Tom Holland Spider-Man has never fought like another superhuman being before, especially the one that plays like dirty, like the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
When you stack the Fox universe and the MCU, I don't think anyone beats Magneto. I don't think anyone beats Professor X.
I think that
Omega
is
level
on
mutants.
purpose. Yeah, I think that's on
Omega-level
purpose.
mutants.
And it's gonna be like,
it's
we
not even
got
like
this.
a close competition. I don't think anyone, like
Well,
anybody
I
on this
mean,
list.
I mean, Phoenix. Oh, but she's not on it. So yeah,
No.
you're right.
And
Yeah.
she'd have to be in Phoenix form.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though like Jean is strong herself, yeah, but like Phoenix is just another level.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can take, I would say, not. I don't say this meanly, but probably like the least strong person, Mystique, Rebecca Romaine. I think she still kills Black Widow, Red Guardian, Winter Soldier. I think all of them can, like, she would take out all of them. Like all the my power is gun people.
The only competition that they would have would be Thor.
Right. But even then, Professor X puts
Yeah.
Thor to sleep instantly.
And Magneto with if the hammer's made out of metal, right?
It's not even close.
But hold on, the hammer is made out of metal. Can Magneto lift it?
Oh, different universes have different
Please don't start.
answers
Please
to
don't
that.
start.
Yeah, that's a whole like
Yeah.
brain crunch thing.
I think we're in for a little bit of disappointment with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's role in all of this. 'Cause
Interesting.
realistically, they're old. They're 80-something, right? They're not out here. They ain't going to be out here fucking around for that long, right? Maybe Patrick Stewart. He's in a wheelchair. Like, he'll be sitting down. It won't be that crazy. But Magneto's not going to be Magneto, So I think it's going to be like, they're getting their asses whooped by Doctor Doom. Magneto has to step in and try and lay down some business. And that's when Doom is like, oh, you're somewhat of a challenge. But then he still wipes the floor with him. And that's it. And,
It's
Magneto's
over.
done with. Right. It's more to just show how powerful Doctor Doom is. Especially because we spent our childhood understanding that Magneto was like the bad guy. So I think it's more for that than for him to actually be in the movie for more than 30 minutes,
I don't think we're gonna get like an actual Avengers versus X-Men with Doomsday though.
No.
I feel like they're gonna save that's gonna be a whole other movie in the next phase of Marvel with the new X-Men cast. It just doesn't seem fitting. I mean, sure, like these random people show up and you see them as a threat at first because you don't know who they are, right? So you're going to be on guard. They might, squabble around. But I don't think it's going to be like that level of Avengers versus
Kendrick
X-Men.
Lamar's going to be in it?
They squabble around, they squabble up. Kendrick shows up. I don't know. Kendrick cameo?
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Ooh,
Kendrick on the soundtrack actually might
Kendrick on the
slap a little bit.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
a lot of people are here, guys. I do want to take some time to talk about who's not here, notably, because not that they're glaring omissions, but very surprising omissions in this cast list. Keep in mind, there's a whole nother Avengers movie in Secret War. But I'm like, oh, not them? Mainly, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, not here. That surprised me. No Wanda. Zero Hulks, which is also surprising. No Storm, no Jean Grey, no Agatha, none of the Young Avengers, no America Chavez, no Ironheart, no Black Knight,
Black
nobody.
Knight. I mean, come on,
The
man.
As
Eternals.
Jon Snow. Come on.
Yeah, but they barely set that up, you know? We'd be lucky to get an actual Eternal.
No Eternals.
Yeah.
No Echo, which is not
Oh,
surprising,
man.
but that's a whole other thing. No Star Fox? You're telling me Harry Styles isn't here? Spectrum is not here as well. And I think that's it. That surprised me mainly. Mainly it's a lot of phase 4 through 5 characters.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I mean, I guess they picked what worked. I guess, you know what I mean? Neither Hawkeye is here. No Spider-Man is here. No Doctor Strange.
Or Clea.
No Clea. No Love. No Valkyrie. No Guardians in this galaxy.
I would know. I have a theory as to why.
Oh, okay. Let's hear your theory.
Because
Sorry.
we know Star-Lord is returning, but only like Star-Lord. We don't know about the other Guardians, right? They all went their separate ways.
Correct.
Because Secret Wars 2015, Star-Lord was a big part of it. Captain Marvel was a big part of it. The Phoenix Force was a big part of it as well, like the Phoenix Five. Well, only for the beginning, and then spoiler, they die.
What?
And Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man was a part of it as well, I think, if I'm correct. And Doctor Strange was also a big part of it. So that's, I want to say, the reason why we don't see them here in Doomsday. If we do, it'll be very small, like maybe like a cameo. But I think the majority of their role is going to be done in Secret Wars for that storyline, because that's where they're most important.
You're muted.
Boop bloop. Interesting. Great thoughts, Stefania. Anyways, I want to agree with you, and I think you're right, but it wouldn't be the first time the MCU has taken the name of something and then just didn't do it at all. You know,
Right.
like they're just like we're alluding to it, but you know, it's like they call something like She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and there's not many court scenes. But that's a whole nother podcast. Anyway, uh, I'm not worried because I think this is a solid cast. I mean, it has all the heavy hitters, mostly the ones that worked, right? But I am curious to see how they use them. We have the makings of a new Avengers in this cast list, especially because you list off Anthony Mackie and Chris Hemsworth at the top. You have a Shuri, you have a Shang-Chi, you have an Ant-Man, you have a Black Widow, and you have a John Walker. You know, you have a lot of people that can make, I don't know, an Avengers team. But we also have to know that all of the Thunderbolts are here, except for Taskmaster.
Yep.
We already
Yep.
know why.
Taskmaster shows up in Secret Wars.
Oh, people were complaining that it's kind of a spoiler that Taskmaster's not there and that everybody survives. I'm not so much concerned about knowing everybody survives because, like, let's be real, they don't kill off every character like that in the MCU, right? And then when we look at the trailer, we kind of knew people are already kind of saying Taskmaster's toast, right? What is a little bit of a, I don't want to say bummer because that sounds dramatic, but it's a little bit of a bummer is that Lewis Pullman, Sentry, is there. So it's kind of just
Interesting.
like, all right, well, I would have preferred maybe he doesn't immediately join the team and they saved him through the power of friendship or whatever.
You know what's
Um,
gonna happen.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of like it is what it is. Like I've seen, it's just noticeable that people are already complaining, and it's just like, man, like
But everyone, like,
act
there's
like
people
you're
that
not
complain
gonna
all the
love it.
time.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah,
always gonna be complainers, and then when it finally comes out, all those complainers are gonna be like, "This is the best thing since No Way Home, since Endgame, since
yeah,
Infinity War." And I'm like,
yeah,
tomato, tomato.
yeah, exactly.
Dang. Okay. All right. Jeez. I mean, speaking of villains, it surprised me that Namor is here. That surprised me.
Is he
I
the
mean,
only like villain?
Yeah, it's a little bit
Sentry, if you want to
more.
count him, or Magneto. Sentry, Magneto.
Magneto's, yeah.
Magneto
Well,
did
I
nothing
think it'd
wrong.
be like anti-heroes, kind of borderline
Yeah,
anti-hero.
Probably. I mean, it
Because
depends on
Mystique
how
is
you.
also,
Ghost,
Ghost. I was very shocked at
Loki.
Ghost. Um,
Yeah, good for
I was like,
her.
yeah, I mean, I'm like, good for her. She survives.
I mean, I wonder. I wonder. We're not. I wonder if we're gonna get another Kitty Pride.
Ooh,
oh,
maybe, maybe
I think they're
that's
saving that.
why.
I think they're
Yeah,
Or a
saving
new
that
X-Men
for
movie.
I
X-Men
I
proper.
wouldn't say Kitty Pryde is like a priority X-Men character to be dropped at this point in time.
Interesting.
She's gonna be like a new cast, kind of new casting for like the
Mm.
next phase.
Okay, okay.
I feel
I
like they'll
think
just focus on like the OG X-Men characters
right.
for
Mhm.
now.
I
What I
it
love
did
about all of this too, what I like about the Avengers Doomsday casting confirmations that we got basically is that basically all the insiders and the rumor mill was completely like off, like so far off, right? Nobody that they were saying, it was no Sadie Sink, no
Yeah.
they were posting recently like, oh, look at this casting call for actors between this age and this age and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, okay, you guys were all completely wrong. They already had the cast already sorted probably for a couple weeks at this point. And you're over here talking about like Sadie Sink is gonna play a redhead in the next Spider-Man. And it's just like, okay, you're such an industry insider, but you completely missed the next Avengers lineup that's up for like that's in pre-production now. So
I
I
will
think
say they said Sadie Sink was gonna be in Spider-Man. So
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so there's that. But also Channing Tatum is here? Is that why he got buff?
Yes.
I didn't see, so I don't think I follow him on Instagram, so I didn't see that story. When was it posted? Like 2
It
days
was
ago?
him taking some
Yeah.
some mirror selfies a couple days ago. And
Gotcha.
he's like super and he's never been like not fit.
Yeah.
Um, but he's like extra fit now and he put like a silly little caption like can't stay fat no more or something like that, right? And I remember thinking at the time like this man's coming back. This is what this is. He has to get in shape.
Yeah. I
And I
feel like
think
we kind of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I think you were gonna maybe say that is that the fans kind of called it out based off of his look in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's just like
Yeah.
he was there for a couple days. They didn't push him too much to get into like super good shape, but you could tell, man, like that shisty little look
Yeah.
was like he was popping out of it. So I think
Here's the
he's
thing.
slimming
I
down for it.
I would argue that nobody looks good in the head sock. It was good in the 90s.
Right.
It just doesn't work in live action. I wanted to.
What? I thought it looked great.
The head sock?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's the thing. Respectfully to Channing Tatum and his wife. Respectfully as I
Well, they're
can.
divorced.
Disrespectfully.
And Justin.
Uh, Channing Tatum has never been unfit. He has
Right.
never been like fat.
Right.
But he's been normal. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say like he's like, oh, okay. Like he
Yeah.
what was his last remember This Is the End?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, he can get by. He has a couple abs, a couple pecs, you know what I mean? He's never had to like
Yeah.
really juice up like ever except in Magic Mike, and he wasn't that like if you know
And
what I
that's
mean.
still not like superhero jacked.
Yes, he's
Like,
never had to be superhero
yeah,
jacked.
modern day superhero jacked. Because Hugh Jackman in X-Men 1 was like a normal guy, like a good,
He
in
was like
shape
cut.
dude. No, I don't even think he was cut,
Have you?
but still looked super heroic for the time.
Or
But
like
now it's
toned.
just gotten ridiculous. Yeah, tone.
Yeah.
Now it's just ridiculous the way these dudes have to
Dehydrated.
like dehydrate for
Literally.
like 20 minutes, uh, for like a 20-minute scene or something, you know? So
Not even. It has to be longer than that. Because I could not drink for 20 minutes and like
no, I'm saying
Have abs?
the screen
no.
time of them shirtless is like 20 minutes total, and they had to like be miserable for an
Oh
entire
yeah.
6 months just to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that
yeah.
20 minutes on film, you know?
Dang. I wonder like how dehydrated they had to get to
Extremely.
look like
They
that.
can't
I would
drink any
die.
water.
I would
Like
And
die
like how what span of time though?
for like
it's
the
like they plan
previous
it.
48 hours or something.
What do you
There's a YouTuber that trained like a Marvel superhero, and it was crazy. I don't know, Michelle Carey is her name, and she hired the same trainers as Marvel did, and it's crazy how much protein you have to eat. And they load up the shirtless scenes right at the beginning,
Mhm.
and they like make sure you don't drink water, no moisture, no nothing, just protein, just salt and pepper. That's it.
Yo, they were probably gassy as hell. They were probably so you know that dressing room stank. You
Oh
know that
God.
that stank. The trailer. Woo!
Oh God.
That trailer's got some good ventilation, good AC system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it worked, and then they can slowly get back to normal.
I
After
could
the
give you a
show.
solid Bruce Banner performance. That's as far as I will go.
At least it's just the beginning, and then they can go back to like normal, right?
Even Mark Ruffalo in Avengers 1 was not fat. You know what I
They
mean?
still probably made him exercise. Yeah. Avengers
Yeah,
Ultron, you see
well,
him fresh out the shower and he's
yeah.
kind of like, oh, hey, what's up? Like they had to be like, listen, you and Scarlett Johansson are gonna be romantic in this one, so maybe do some cardio and do something.
Would you take the Marvel training and diet?
Do I get a Marvel paycheck?
Ooh. No, you don't.
No.
They said, hey, Derek, we want you to play the new superhero, but you're gonna have to get ripped. But we won't give it to you until we know you can get ripped. We'll do the
Yeah, I
food.
mean, give me a contract and have Kevin Feige sign it. I'll sign it. Then yeah, let's do it.
You would do it? Okay, because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'd have to think about it because like once you go down that road of like getting ripped, it's hard to like you can't really like I don't know it's hard to mentally go back. You know what I mean? Stefania, would you take the Marvel diet?
Oh yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
That quick?
Yeah. I want to know
Damn.
what I look like. I want to
Be
see what I
shredded.
look like. Yeah. Why not?
Alright,
I already
alright.
don't drink enough water. I don't see it as a problem for me.
You say that now until you have to eat unseasoned chicken. Okay?
Yeah, I can season it. What are you talking about?
Listen, you know what else is unseasoned? Millions of dollars, baby. All right? So, it's fine. Actually, that's
It's
probably
fine.
seasoned with like germs and stuff. Actually, now that I think about it.
Crazy. Anyways, I'm really excited for all of this Marvel news. I hope you guys are too. Keep in mind, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four both come out this year, and Avengers Doomsday comes out next year, if I'm not mistaken. So they kind of have to
They're
start.
speeding it up. Yeah.
It's they're in production right now, so
Yeah.
they should be filming any
It's
day.
May 1st, 2026.
Yeah.
Less than a year, which is I honestly think that's insane. To turn it around so quickly, I don't think we've seen a Marvel project turn around this quickly.
You know,
Have we
Yeah.
ever?
I don't think so, but that's got me thinking like they might push it back because they've done it
Ah.
with like because look how big the cast is, right? And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other things they have up their sleeve that we don't know yet that they're gonna keep hidden, right? With what they did with like Infinity War and Endgame. and I think they might just push it back a couple months. I don't, because when this was first announced, the dates, especially with it being like within a year, both movies came out. It was like, yeah, they're not going to keep that. They're definitely going to push one of those back. So,
Okay, we'll see. Derek, do you think it's going to make its release date?
I think so. I think the plan here is probably like Disney was like, this is the priority. And like the budget is unlimited, clearly, right? And let's lean into the fan service. Let's lean into like really cool stuff. But none of this works unless logistically we can meet this deadline. And they made it a point to like not announce what the untitled films were yet until so like we knew for a minute there was going to be some movies coming out in 2026 and 2027, but we didn't know which ones they were. And then they finally announced it, and then now they're announcing this full cast. They're making it a big deal. They clearly didn't spend a lot of money to film the announcement video, but they're making it a big deal. So I would hope they planned it out so that they can make it, and then probably like make sure the VFX workers are paid well enough to, keep things on track. So we'll see.
We shall see. I think that's it for us. Keep in mind, I think we're gonna stay live, if I'm not mistaken, and then we're gonna just segue right into Daredevil. Stefania has to watch Daredevil,
yes.
so give her some love. Do not spoil it in her comment section, etc., etc. And we shall see you in like 2 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just pause, and
Do you want me to
if you're
just, like,
watching
leave?
and you want to stick around,
Yeah, get the fuck out
we'll
of
be
here.
back.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.